So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the GenAI in HealthTech session of the 4th GenAI Summit. I'm Eleni Pentafragka. I'm Chief Strategy Officer and Board Member at ELPEN, the leading Greek pharmaceutical company. And I'm also the Executive Vice Chair of the Board of Athens Life Tech Park, which is the first biotechnology park in Greece. Please join me in welcoming today's speakers. We have Dimitris Skaltsas, co-founder and CEO of Intelligencia, Apostolos Atsalakis, co-founder and CRO of PNOE, and Sophie Wehrle, Tsimpoulis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Sophie, CRO and Business Growth at Juisci. Before we dive into the discussion, we wanted to understand a little bit what is interesting to you. So if we could have a show of hands, how many of you are from academia? No academia here, great. So we'll be practical, okay. From industry? Yes, and students? So mostly industry, great. Thank you for being here. So I'm very pleased to moderate today's panel, not only because I've known Dimitris and Apostolos and I've been always curious to hear their updates, but I've also been wanting to meet with Sophie and Juisci for a long time. So it's great to have you all here and ask all my questions. So before we go there, I'd like for each of you to introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about your company and maybe one common misconception about generative AI that you've come across. Dimitri, you want to start?
Perfect, yeah. Can you hear me? Perfect. So I'll address the question actually in the way of introducing myself. So I'm co-founder and CEO to Intelligencia AI. We're a technology company in life sciences. We have started actually 8 years back in New York. And we have a major R&D hub in Athens, Greece, and more broadly in Greece. So to your question, and actually again, by way of introduction, like my background for the last 10 plus years has been in AI, like 8 years with Intelligencia. We have been a pioneer in the space of mostly machine learning rather than Gen AI. And before that, I was leading in New York the efforts back then of McKinsey to set up a domain for AI applications in R&D, both drug discovery and drug development, healthcare. Now, if you ask me on certain things, you know, the things that I know, I will tell you I know, and I will discuss them. The things that I don't know, I will probably tell you I don't know. When I go to Perplexity or, you know, whatever is your model of or provider of choice for LLMs, they will never say, I don't know. They will be assertive. And it's kind of the analogy that people increasingly make. It's like, you know, you may have an expert and you have an intern. And Gen AI is more of the intern. And actually, it's a very assertive intern. So tying back to my consulting days again, it's like the 23-year-old who has been instructed to be very assertive, just even to cover their lack of knowledge or confidence, right? I think that's a major thing that starts actually seeping down. And then very briefly, another thought that I have to your question is, most people in life science and healthcare expect that Gen AI will transform the whole industry. I believe it will actually transform the whole industry, but I doubt that it will happen as fast as a lot of people hope or predict, because it's a space with a lot of vigor around. The bar is very high when it comes to data, data safety, data security, outcomes for the patients, drug development, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think these are common misconceptions on Gen AI.
Thank you, Dimitri. I think both the analogy and how we overestimate the effects of a technology in the short run, but underestimate in the long run is true with any new breakthrough technology. Apostolos, what's your take?
Yes, hello from me. Apostolos Atsalakis, founder of PNOE. Essentially, we are a health tech AI company focusing in the space of human longevity. At the heart of what we do is a breath analysis test, a non-invasive 8-minute breath analysis test where we screen 23 biomarkers of human physiology. We screen 3 major systems, the health of the heart, the lungs, and the cellular health. And based on this unique and holistic assessment, we provide actionable insights to our users about their overall wellness and longevity. We help them answer things like, which supplements shall I take? How shall I eat? How shall I train? What is the best annual checkup for my health? As a company, we operate globally. Our main market is the US market, but our team is based both in the US and Greece, and we serve the markets, a wide range of markets, from fitness, clinics, longevity centers, all the way to deep medical, all the way to hospitals. And we enable our users to provide unique insights and guide the longevity journey of their clients. To answer your question about common misconceptions, and I think today many people focus on the intelligence created by GenAI, which makes a ton of sense. I mean, there are so many horizons and so much intelligence created around health and wellness, but the delivery method is often neglected. And we've seen that when AI is combined with the delivery by an expert, when the expert communicates the insights to the user, this tends to be much more effective, and the consumers are much more accountable to follow these recommendations. So it's not only the intelligence created by AI, but it's also the delivery of the message and how to make sure that it's engaging and it actually drives change, right?
Which can also address the risk highlighted by Dimitris before, right? Regarding the screening of the insights. Sophie?
Yes, it's good.
First, are you Greek?
I'm married with a Greek doctor.
Sorry, I had to ask.
Yes. I'm Sophie. I joined Juisci 2 months ago. We've moved to Greece 6 months ago with the family. And before that, I scaled 2 French companies in healthcare from France to Germany. So now I'm doing the same, helping French companies scaling in Europe and also in Greece. So Juisci comes from the word juice of science. So it's a bit the promise that we bring, that we will deliver fresh juice of science every day to our users that are life science companies and healthcare professionals. The company exists since 2021, and they have just raised 5.5 million euro with Big P in Greece, so it's a Greek investor. We are sharing the same investor with Dimitris. And with regards to misconception, I join a bit your point of view. It's also what I want to share is a bit like, so first, what is the definition of AI and what is the definition of GenAI? I think it's 2 different things. And for GenAI, so on our perspective, we see it today more as the engine and a support to deliver the value at the end. But still, it has to be today complemented with experts, and on our side, medical expert team. And also, I really like your point of view on the delivery. I also think what our users really love is that what we provide is not delivered by the pharma company, for example, but it's delivered by an expert medical company, AI company that is completely unbiased. And I think that is also an important point that is also part of the success today of Juisci. So we are today working with more than 200,000 expert healthcare professionals and 30 life science companies worldwide. Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie. So I understand that the delivery is very important in the value proposition around GenAI for both PNOE and Juisci. Dimitri, you work a lot on the drug development, you work with big pharmaceutical companies. There is a huge failure rate of drugs entering the clinic. Is that the area that the Intelligencia aims to deliver value using GenAI, or are there any other aspects that you focus on?
That's another great question. So I'll give you a bit more context on the company. So again, we started late 2017, it's been 8 years. We have been pioneering the space of predicting with machine learning, so AI, predictive AI, probability of success for new therapies. Success being regulatory approval down the line or transition to the next phase. And for that, we have a US patent. And for that, actually, we're quite well known in the space. Like by now, we work with 10, 11 of the top 20 in market cap, largest pharmacos in the world, which is a very hard space to crack, right? So that's the main use case, and that's not GenAI. That's machine learning. And it has taken actually a while to convince those customers that it works. Because again, the space is very conservative. Now, when GenAI comes, or where GenAI comes into the picture for Intelligencia is in multiple ways. So on one hand, we're known in the space, some of the customers characterized as expert AI. Expert AI is for the machine learning applications within the broader ecosystem that is increasingly enabled by GenAI. And we try to deliver in a more conversational way through our platform, also some insights, as the other panelists said, generated by or enabled by AI, but ideally delivered also through experts on our team. The other part is we're an AI enabler. So increasingly more of our customers use our data so that they build their own AI, which is mostly Gen AI applications. So we use Gen AI both internally and externally. Externally more on the conversational platform engagement, which we don't fully trust and our customers don't fully trust. So we have been quite cautious on how to test it out and how to deploy it. And internally for accelerating how we capture data and actually also how we become a more efficient company. Often I'm saying, we're a scale-up company, but we need to retain our startup DNA. And that's where GenAI comes into the picture.
Apostolos, do you want to highlight any other use cases for GenAI within PNOE?
Yes, absolutely. So AI is really at the heart of what we do. So, and we use it in two main areas. First of all, we gather unique data about human physiology. And then through AI, we provide actionable insights to our users. So the way that we take into account their habits, their physiology data, their goals, all this is put in the blend, and essentially we provide actionable insights to them, literally what they need to do on a day-to-day basis, from their nutrition all the way to their supplements. And what we've seen throughout these years is that people love data, but what they love more is what to do with this data, right? When does this become actionable and how it becomes actionable? So the entire algorithm that provides this information is powered by AI. So this is the first application that we've been using AI, you know, for a while.
May I ask you something here? So you deliver this information to the consumer, if I may say consumer, not to the doctor. So it goes to the individual.
So it goes to the individual through the doctor. So we power the doctors, the trainers, the nutritionists of the world with this information, and they deliver this to their clients because we're a B2B company. And this is where we've seen that this AI-powered message delivered by an expert drives the biggest impact. And so this is the first thing of AI, how we use AI. And the second major application is that we combine our data that we gather with other data sets, in many cases more commodity data like wearable and blood analysis, but because our data set is unique, when combined with another more commodity data set, it creates a new unique data set. So how these data are combined to again provide actionable insights, this is done through AI as well.
Okay, so does the healthcare professional have the ability to enter like blood test data or other exams into your platform?
Yes, okay. Exactly. So this is a platform that we're currently, developing because there are so many data streams that could be added, but we allow the practitioner to add other, for example, a full blood panel and combine it with a full breath panel to provide an even more holistic understanding for the physiology of his patient.
That's a very empowering tool in the hands of healthcare professionals. Yes. Sophie?
Yes. So maybe I will start to explain you what we do, and I think it will help to illustrate how we use GenAI over the full process. So what we do is that we turn complex scientific literature into digestible, multimodal content that are videos, infographic, podcasts, whatever. So the GenAI is present over the whole funnel, from the curation, the selection of the publication, articles, everything you can find on different sources. So we go over more than 4,500 sources. And then it will select based on criteria, more than 10 criteria that are validated by medical international teams. And then it will bring a selection of content, publication. This selection will be reviewed, checked by our internal medical team that we have. And then it will be digested in what I told, the juice of science, summaries of the publication. It's very interactive. I invite you to download the app. It's free for all the users anyway, but you can find the summaries and you can then transform them with the AI, so with the technology, into videos, podcasts, infographics, different forms. And that's how we use it, actually. And it is used, then it is consumed by internal teams, medical affairs teams in life science companies, or marketing teams that use that for their different communications, but also for the end users that are the pharmacists and the HCPs. In their daily life, they will have the app, and they will be able to listen to the latest publication on their medical therapeutic area every day. Yeah, that's how we use it.
That's very interesting, because I was going to ask you how you work differently than ChatGPT, let's say, when you can upload a few research
it's a
papers.
Good point. We have an internal Juisci GPT. It's very also that we use to interact with the literature, to check things, but it's grounded on science. It's not the ChatGPT that you use. It's really trained by, it's a scientific GPT, you would say.
So I understand we have from your customers, we have healthcare professionals and pharmacists, doctors on that side, and we have Big Pharma here. From your perspective, who everyone wants to share, who do you feel is more ready to adopt these new solutions and methodologies driven by GenAI? Who's more skeptical? Whoever wants to.
We are a B2B2C business, so we are also working mainly with big pharma groups. So in the pharma groups, I would say the medical affairs teams and marketing teams are the one that they are more eager to adopt that because they need to save time. It's becoming very strategic for them, this topic, so they have to find a solution. They are thinking to build something internally, but at the end they realize, okay, it's a huge project, a lot of costs. So that's where we see really the traction in the groups. And the HCPs, I would say two criteria. One is the specialty. We see some specialties like radiologists, urologists that are more technophile, eager to use that kind of product. And also the generation. The interns, the students, and the young doctors, of course, they are more responsive to this than the ones that are at the end of their career.
So from what I've seen out there, like, in the wellness and health space, when compared to, fitness centers or deep medical, the agile clinics, whether this is an obesity clinic or a longevity clinic or a recovery clinic, they are by far the faster adopters in AI. We're fortunate enough that at this point we work with the biggest health providers. They operate hundreds and thousands of clinics, and all of them, literally all of them, have an AI agenda for the next 6 to 12 months where they're building AI features for the core functions of the clinic. Like when you enter the clinic, how you give your information, how you interact, how you get the services. So all this flow is re-engineered in all these clinics, and it will be live within the next 12 months. Like I see this across our partners. The problem though is that what happens with the smaller clinics, that they cannot support the infrastructure, they cannot hire an AI team to build this. Like there would be the large providers that will have a massive edge when this is released, but the smaller clinics will be significantly be left behind. And this is where we help both, because we provide them a turnkey solution that they can either use out of the box, or our AI infrastructure communicates with their AI infrastructure to transform the patient journey.
Well, everyone's looking into that. A few years back, or even a couple of years back, you would see surveys like on the adoption of AI. In our space, life sciences, large pharma, mid-cap, there would be a 10-20% that were saying they're using AI. There would be another 20-30% they're considering or testing on a pilot. And another 50% that, okay, not for us, not yet, too immature. Now, these days, everyone, either because they really care about it or because they're ashamed to say they don't do anything, everyone is saying they're doing something. And it ranges from very large kind of redefining your self-efforts, like Novo Nordisk, where their stock price has declined by 70% this year. But that's another story. They went through a huge change management effort internally for over a year. Good for them. So you have those cases, and you have cases where each department is trying to pile together some budget and and get some attention from the headquarters or from the central to get support on the AI. But it's happening. And I think it's happening because these days, every one of us is using ChatGPT or, again, your flavor of it in our daily lives. And because we're getting more and more embedded in that type of operating and interacting with information out there, we're bringing this also to our works, to the business.
Yes, and if I may echo on that, from the perspective of a pharmaceutical company, identifying use cases and understanding really the value that they bring is the first step towards adopting more of these solutions.
Very briefly on this. For instance, working with a huge pharmaceutical, they adopted a very broad GenAI platform where they introduce all their data. They had been working with us anyway, and now they're introducing this concept that I discussed also earlier, expert AI. They realize that, there are constraints, there are limitations to all these very broad AI, GenAI models, and they're plugging in the more specific, more expert AI or not AI applications, right? But it's always around use cases. You need to be centered around value generation. Value generation comes with use cases.
So if we may stay a little bit on the data input for these approaches. I understand that for Juisci, it's the scientific literature that you curate as your input. For PNOE, it's the data that's collected by the wearable or Dimitris, what kind of data do you work with?
Our claim to the world is we have best-in-class, summary-level clinical development data. Now, to demystify this, practically it's data on clinical trials. We don't have patient-level data, like a trial may have 100 patients. We don't have the data per patient. We have the summary-level data. And we have best-in-class data because we involve the expert. We involve people to create ontologies, so create the strategy around how to harmonize, how to unify the data and what to do with the data. And then, even though we have extremely extensive technology infrastructure, anything from data engineering pipelines to collect the data in a timely and comprehensive way to QC layers and so on and so forth, we still have a very extensive team of biologists, pharmacologists, people who are experts in the domain, and they both curate the data on top of the AI, or sometimes it's an AI, but sometimes it doesn't have to be an AI, and they make some sense out of it.
So to make sure I understand, Dimitris, this is the data that's published by the trials that are run by pharmaceutical companies?
Yes.
Or are there also some data that are not public that you either have?
Two worlds in the Intelligencia world. One world is publicly available data, so things in the public domain. Those are things that the pharmaceuticals publish in conferences, in registries, in publications, and so on and so forth. The second world is customers share their data with us for us to give them better predictions on their own programs, like unpublished interim results or mechanism of action that they haven't revealed to the world, but they're allergic to what we do with those data. So what we do with those data is only giving them better predictions and containing to them. So we don't cross-contaminate our database. Everyone is super allergic.
Yeah, Big Pharma is allergic to that. So I think we've talked a little bit about the companies. We've understood the use cases for GenAI. I'd like us to go now a little bit in talent and geography, something that I think this audience is also interested in, and we all care deeply about. So I would like you to tell us a little bit about your footprint in Greece, whether you employ talent here, what kind of talent you have found locally, where you see gaps, and whether you're actively looking to hire.
So we're proud, a very proud employer in Greece. Like our major R&D hub is in Greece. 80%, if not more, of the employees, the global employees of the company are in Greece, even though 100% of our customers are in the US, Europe, Japan. And Greece has been a blessing for us. Like, I'm looking at the audience, about, I don't know, 15 of our team members are here. And it's one of the things I'm most proud about Intelligencia. It's like actually identifying fantastic talent, so cherry-picking talent, retaining and grooming that talent. We have one of the best retention rates, I think, in the industry as a scale-up company globally. And we have been blessed with that. So Greece, I think, has great people with a lot of motivation, a lot of great intrinsics, and a great work ethic culture. Like they're there to build with you and grow and learn and make it successful. I think that runs in the mentality, and great retention, a lot of loyalty. These are all fundamental ingredients. Now, is there abundance of talent? No, and especially when it comes to mid-level, mid and senior level, but mostly mid-level. So typically what we do at Intelligencia is we hire people with graduate studies, some of them with some work experience. They grow with us, we groom them. And when it comes to more senior talent, much more often than not, it's people with experience from abroad. Even the people who are in Greece, they have worked abroad, they have been at large corporations or scale-up companies like us, and they bring something back. Because as much as the ecosystem has been growing in Greece, it's not there yet. Like, we're getting a critical mass, or we have a critical mass, but it's still contained, especially if you think verticalized. But yeah, Greece, a blessing.
Yeah, I echo what Dimitris says. Greece has great talent. We have a significant footprint in Greece. My team is based in Greece and the US, but in Greece we do functions from engineering all the way from hardware engineering to software and AI. We have some client-facing roles. At this point, we have more than 70 team members in Greece, and we are actively recruiting. At this point, we are looking for talent in client-facing position, sales a lot, because we are in a growth phase as a company, but also engineers in AI. Of course, there is scarcity in engineering talent, particularly in AI globally. And of course, there is scarcity in this talent in Greece. But I'm very proud about the power team we have built in Greece, and very proud of their, daily achievements. So I think that when the Greek talent is put in an environment with a large upside, with a growth potential, magic happens, literally. And yes, you will not find the most senior people out there, but you will find people that want to learn fast. And if you're patient and can wait 3 to 6 months, I've seen members from my Greek team outperforming senior hires I've done in the US. So I'm a big believer of the Greek talent.
That's great, Apostolos. Sophie?
So we are a French company, but we have created a Greek subsidiary here. We have one. We have actually 2 employees here, based here, but it's the beginning. We are working a lot remotely. That's why we plan anyway we are open to the hiring market, and we really believe in the value of the Greek talent market. I worked with a lot of Greek people in the past in France, in Germany, and I'm sure they all want to come back, but they just need to find the right setup. So yeah, we will expand here, and of course we look for talent that are based here or that are abroad and want to come back. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'd like to share here as well that having studied different ecosystems around the world and really thinking about what is it that Greece can uniquely offer. You know, you look at China, you see speed, you see scale. That's not Greece. You look at the Middle East, you see there's a lot of money. I think the one thing that really Greece can do a tremendous job at offering is great talent, both in the AI space, but also in our biomedical sciences. We have exceptional people young graduates, of course, that need to be trained in the development work, but it's what, yeah. So
I may also LLM, ML, it's evolving at a pace we cannot follow. So I think more than experts in that, what we are looking for is more people with a curious mindset, with the ability to learn fast and to adapt. And I think you have that here. What you say, we need the right education, the right training, of course, but everything is possible when you're here.
So to wrap things up, I'll give you a choice. You can leave us with what's next for your company, for GenAI in health, if you want to talk about that, or if there's anything specifically that excites you and you look forward to in the future. Dimitris, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go for the first one, and I'll add also Greece and Europe into the mix. So Intelligencia, I'm quite bullish, optimistic. We're at the time in the company's journey where we have fantastic talent team that we discussed, mature, great customer base, where we experience this, upselling, scaling up, and great AI adoption. So things are working in our favor. There are risks also with GenAI because transforming the space. That's why I always say we're a scale-up company. We need to retain our startup DNA. The world is moving really fast. On GenAI, I'm reading the news, thankfully not every day because it's depressing, but every time I open the news, especially in the US, it's about the AI bubble. Now, I don't know if at some point it will burst, but I think it's like software. Yeah, there was a bubble at some point, but 20 years later, the world is run by software, and some of the largest global companies are in software. So I expect the same will happen with AI at a faster pace. In terms of Greece, Europe, I'm less optimistic. I think that's a fantastic summit, and don't get me wrong, but I think we're extremely behind, and I think there are structural problems in the continent, like lack of vision, lack of coordination. It's like a company. Like you need someone to bring the vision. We support by many others, and you need to have the operating model. I think Europe lacks both, and I'm not that optimistic. I would love to believe, because I think if we don't get our things together, the continent will suffer economically, but much more things need to happen there.
Yeah, so to answer your question about, the future of and what we have currently cooking in the PNOE kitchen. So I'm very excited about the things that are coming. There is a massive longevity trend globally and a massive AI trend, and we sit right at the intersection of these two waves. And we're launching within the next 4 months big innovations both on the delivery of our tests that will democratize what we do at an even larger scale. We will go to a reality where the test could be self-administered, and I think that this will be a quantum leap from the current reality. And also on the action generation engine, the more data we gather, the more lives we help with our insights, our AI and our algorithms become more powerful. And there is a pain out there. Like most people just take supplements randomly or follow nutrition plans that they heard from, you know, a friend of a friend. They're just lost in this sea of information. So these things need to be delivered in a bespoke way for our users, and this is definitely where we're going.
Thank you, Apostolos. Sophie?
For Juisci, if I would say, as a vision, what we aim is to democratize the access to the scientific knowledge. And for that, we need, of course, the support of the life science companies, but also the societies. And we are here to support them in using what they already produce. They produce science, but to use it in the right way. And I think it's a big challenge now, especially in Greece, I would say, where you see it's a bit, it's not as mature as other markets, to help them realize what it will be in 5, 10 years, 20 years. And yeah, I think here we need our first now partners. We are already working on a project with Big Pharma here to integrate that, bring that new concept of engaging with HCPs through science, making science in the heart of the engagement strategies. And I think it's for the better, we think it's for the better healthcare at the end. So it's a joint work together to achieve that. Yeah.
Great. So thank you to our panelists for a great discussion. Thank you to Endeavor Greece for putting together this panel, and thank you to our audience.
Thank you.